your GCs using you for your estimating? Does it ever feel like you bid and bid and bid, but with very little results? Maybe you're estimating at 2 in the morning, desperately trying to meet the bid dates. And then sometimes you ask yourself, why am I even doing this? It feels like I'm spinning my wheels. There has to be a better way. My name is Daniel Quindemil, founder of Builders, and I am on a mission to help contractors across the country scale their businesses into the multiple millions of dollars per year mark. And that's why I make these videos. Before I started Builders, I helped grow a small little itty bitty drywall labor company into a $7 million a year real commercial construction business. And guess what? I know exactly how this feels. You're spending all your time bidding, you're giving up your weekends, your Saturdays, your Sundays, trying to meet the bid dates. It's 2 in the morning, you know it's due, and you don't want to give up on the job because it's a big project. It feels like you're giving your estimates to your GCs for free. Well, the truth is you probably are. They hurry you up for your price, you rush to get it to them, they get the numbers from you, then they tack on their general conditions, their overhead, their profit, some equipment, and bam, instant free estimating. They don't need you anymore. But guess what? I went through all this. I struggled, I hustled, I figured out a way to get out of this grind, to get out of this hamster wheel, and I have a solution for you. It's a brand new way for you to filter your list so that you can cut out the bad clients, cut out the time wasters, and cut out the ghosters. It's called the prospect scaling method. So back in the day, I was a project manager, and I remember that one of our clients called us desperately needing a drywall contractor. He's like, I need a drywall contractor ASAP because I'm in the middle of my demo and I don't have somebody lined up. So I go to my estimator, Gene. I'm like, hey, Gene, can you please estimate this job? This is hot. He's like, no, man, I need a week. And I go, a week? We're going to be on the job site in a week. I need this right now. I need this tomorrow. And he's like, man, I can't help you. I'm backlogged. Sorry. So I ended up doing it myself. And in the middle of that, I go to our CRM and I'm like, who's that guy? Why are we bidding for that guy and that guy? And I'm looking at like the backlog. I'm like, why are we wasting our time with all these people that aren't giving us contracts? I didn't know any of these guys. And that's when I realized that we had a problem, and it was silently stealing business from us. And what was stealing from us were the time wasters and the ghosters. And that's when I realized that we needed to start prioritizing our clients and not just bidding for everybody. We needed a way to prioritize our list so that we can start prioritizing time and our resources into the clients that are actually leading to projects. Because a lot of times they're going to push you, and then those jobs don't result in project. They just become free estimating for your GCs. And what happens is the GCs don't have any skin in the game. They're gonna call you, hey, I need a bid. It's a Monday. They want it for a Wednesday. You rush, you're in the middle of the night trying to finish it. You do it. And then all they really do, if you think about it, is they tack on their extra costs, right? They get all the subs bids and then they submit. And then at the end of the day, in their game, it's a volume game. Volume. They're not really estimating. That's why GCs are not real estimators. They're glorified proposal getters. So anyways, around that time, I convinced my boss, hey, let's start going to visit clients. It might lead to better clients, better work. And I remember one time we go to one of our GC's offices and I walk in, we shook the guy's hand. Hey, this is Daniel, this is Paulo, nice to meet you. And in the middle of that little small talk, he's like, hey, I actually have a couple more jobs that we haven't sent it out to bid. It's a cost plus contract that we're about to win the contract. And do you guys want to do it? I'm like, yes, give me those, give me the projects. And then we kept visiting clients and we run into this company called RCC and Associates. It turns out that they're a national GC, but they did have a branch down here in South Florida. We walk into their office, we start building this relationship with the estimating team. And I remember every time we'd go to the estimators, they would sit with us and they would open up the laptops, open up their computers, look at the spreadsheets. We would look at the numbers, our competitors' numbers, and they would give us all this inside information. So in all of this process, I asked myself, what specifically about these people, these clients, the people that are helping us, the people that are giving us work, the people that are leading to contracts, what's different about them than all these time wasters? So it hit me. We somehow stumbled upon all these good clients because of just the sheer volume of bidding that we were putting out there. And there was no process behind it. It was just that we were doing so many bids that we just stumbled upon the right clients. And I said to myself, what can I do to cut through the noise and go straight to the winners so we can be more efficient at this? So I went back and I started looking at the clients and how we got in, and I started kind of like figuring out the process on how we led to this company, how they became a repeat client. And I kind of reverse engineered the process. We figured out a process internally for us, and that became what I call the prospect scaling method that I'm teaching you today. All right, let's jump on the computer real quick so I can walk you through it. All right, so this is the prospect scaling method, and this is the process that we're using to take clients from I don't know you, you don't know me. We're gonna vet them, we're gonna put them on a probation, we're gonna scale them up to become what I call a preferred contractor. If you watch any of my videos, you're gonna remember our 8-figure contractor sales system, which is this. And in the past, I had like this little like sketch doodle thing. I actually made it look a lot nicer so that you can see the process more efficiently. But basically, our whole system, our entire 8-figure contractor system is about, we get leads in the door, we have this introduction process, which is what we're talking about today, where we eventually go from introduction to building up the relationship. We do job number 1, number 2, number 3, and over a certain time, the gatekeepers, which are typically the other project managers, they all start kind of finding out about us, and then we eventually become a preferred contractor. And then what happens is all of them want to use you. You're such a good contractor, such a good sub to work with, that they're all going to say like, I can only use you. And we all have those people. You have those guys that you would rather use other than your plan Bs and your plan Cs, but sometimes they're not available or sometimes they're too expensive. And GCs have the same thing. They have their, say, their A-level contractor, like this is the guy that I want, and then the B and the C and like the backups, right? You have the first string and then you have the backups. We want to become the first string. And you'd be surprised that in a lot of cases, there is no first string. They just have a bunch of crappy subs, and if you come in and you're amazing, boom, you're gonna get that top spot. This is the 8-figure contractor system, right? And I'm not gonna go over it because I go over it in this video over here. I wanna show you the prospect scaling method, which is how we accomplish this. All right, so back to prospect scaling. So our goal is to find the best clients, because what we wanna do is we wanna put all our chips in and we wanna invest in them. And what happens is, and what everybody's doing now, and probably you're doing right now too, is you get a lot of leads in. It could be your existing clients, and you're kind of like spinning your wheels and you're bidding and bidding and bidding, where there's no filtering, there's no analytical process to determine who is the best client here. Now, I'm not telling you to be a statistical expert, right? You're a contractor, you're not a statistics guy, but I do want to give you an easy to follow process that you can literally go from finding a lead to putting them through this process of vetting them, so that at the end, you're only working with the best clients. So the 8-figure contractor process, we're focusing on finding the leads and escalating our way up, right? Putting our best foot forward. But at the end of the day, what we're really doing is we're filtering, right? Because our part, what we can control, is visiting the clients, talking to them. We're doing a good job on the job site, right? But what we can't control is my client a douchebag? Is my client gonna waste my time and make me bid jobs and then give it to somebody else? Those are already things that are outside of our control. The only thing that we can control is, do we want to keep bidding for them, right? Do we want to keep investing in them? So that's where the prospect scaling process comes in. All right, so stage 0, we're researching our list. We're going to use your existing clients. We're going to use Dodge. We're going to use Construct Connect, whatever lead way you're getting. You can use the Procore network. We talk about that in other videos. Or whatever method you use, we're going to have a list, right? Bunch of people coming in. They're sending us bids. They're sending us invites. If you have no invites, perfect, because now we could start from scratch. We're going to get on their bid list because we want the invites, because we want to filter. And then we're going to go through the stage 1 initial vetting process. So stage 0, we're building out the unlimited lead system, where we're building out the lead system to get the people in. Stage 1, we're going to start vetting them. So now we get 20 invites this week. Perfect. All right, who is the best client? So we do have a criteria that we use whenever we are vetting. Is the project even a good project? Who's the GC? Are they local? Are they out of town? What's the estimated cost to the owner of this project? There's a few criteria that we use, and then we talk about that inside my Construction Sales Academy, where we actually go through like the vetting process so that you don't waste your time. So the very first filter is stage 1, and you follow this criteria, which projects to pick, right? Everybody's always asking me, Daniel, which project is the best one to pick? Which is the best one to pick? Well, easy. Follow this little checklist. If it meets the criteria, boom, you're in. And that you can find in our Construction Sales Academy right over here. I encourage you right now, it's free to join. We vet the project. Once we determine, hey, I like this job, let's do it. You probably want to go visit the client. This is actually highly recommended. You go visit the client, you meet them. This is the initial vetting process. In the middle of your bid, or maybe before your bid, you visit the client, shake some hands. What do you feel? How does it feel like to talk to this client? Do they feel welcoming? Do they feel like they're kind of dismissive? Are they telling you to just send them an email, right? They've done that to me. Oh, I'm really busy, just send me an email. Oh, the estimator doesn't have time to talk to you, send them an email. And I'm like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen when I get a contract and I haven't gotten paid. You're gonna tell me to just send them an email. Nope, I don't have time for this. So it could be that right there, you cut that guy. Once you go through and you start bidding a few times and you start visiting the clients, you're gonna get a feel. Do I like these people? Do I wanna work with them? Does it look like I may have a good shot with them? Yes, boom, move them into stage 2, your probation. So you might have 100 to start, and then you start moving forward a small handful into a probation. Now, what I say is keep it small to like 10 or 12 GCs, because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pour your time and invest here, right? You're going to visit the clients, you're going to pass by, you're going to take them out to dinner, to lunch if you could. You're going to invest in the clients, bid. And there's going to be a stage where you've already invested 10 bids and now we got to look at numbers, okay? This is where you're going to see if they're going to move on to stage 3 or if we're going to have to cut them, okay? If you've invested 10 or 15 bids, what you're going to do is you're going to see, all right, so I've invested 10 bids. I've submitted 10. How many did they win, right? Let's say they won half, 50%. Boom. Out of these 5, how many did they give me? Oh, they gave me 1. Perfect. I got something. If they gave you 0, then a couple of things could be happening. 1, they suck at sales. They're not good closers. How on earth, as a general contractor, are you going to bid 10 jobs and you're not going to win anything? Forget you. I don't have time to bid for you because I have other people to bid for, right? Or 2, it could just be that they didn't give you anything and they gave all 5 jobs to other people. And then at that point, you have a decision to make. Do I want to continue trying or do we cut our losses here and move on? So what I usually recommend to my clients is you have a come to Jesus meeting with them. You show up to their office, you print out like a stack of all the proposals, right? You got to be dramatic about it. You walk into their office and you're like, right? You drop the papers in front of them. I mean, you don't have to do it dramatically like this, but the idea is to bring in the stack of proposals. They need to see a tangible visual number of proposals that you've done that are wasting your time. They have to see that because you got to flip the script here. You're the GC, you're handling 100 bids per project, right? You don't know who's bidding what, right? It's hard to remember and keep track of it. So they might not have even noticed that they didn't give you something. Now, if they don't notice that, the shame on you because you are not doing the relationship building part for them to remember you. So that's your fault. Let's come to Jesus talk. Hey, if you don't give me something, I'm going to have to stop bidding for you guys. I hope you understand. We're not going to be able to allocate our resources to you. We're going to have to give it to somebody else. And then 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh my gosh. Oh, hold on a second. I have this project. Do you want it? Do you want to bid it? And I'll give it to you. And it's like, dude, like, why do we have to get to this for you to give me something, right? That's a stage 3. That's where you have now a potential, right? You might see that out of those 5 projects, maybe they give you 2 or 3 of them and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm rocking and rolling here. A very high success rate with the jobs they did win. So let me invest in these guys. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put them in this potential stage, right? Potential, probably even the priority stage, because at this point they're giving you work. And now time is going to tell the rest. If you continue this path, are they going to keep giving you work? And now what you want to do is you want to really nurture this relationship, invest in the client, do a good job on the job site. What every contractor does is at this point, they kind of start forgetting about the client and they start worrying about the next shiny object, the next shiny client. You never want to do that. Because what you want to do ultimately is you want to build a portfolio of a lot of repeat clients. Let's jump back really quick to the 8-figure contractor so you can see why. The prospect scaling process that we talked about just now is happening during the escalation and the preferred stages. We're building up that relationship. We're scaling up that relationship so that they want to work with us more and we start working with other people. And then ultimately, multiplication. What we want is we want to repeat this process over and over and over with a bunch of different clients. We're cutting as we go and we're advancing clients as we go so that we can have this multiplication stage. Where what's happening is now we get client number 1. And if you think about it, if you're doing $100,000 contracts, or if you're doing the super sub method, which is what I talk about all the time, where you can do a package deal, instead of doing just drywall or just paint, right? We could do framing, drywall, paint, acoustical ceilings, and maybe demo, right? A package deal of like 3 to 5 trades. You're coming in, you're inflating your contract value, right? You're bringing a lot more value to your GC. Hey, I can do all these trades. You don't have to sub it out to a bunch of people. Give it all to me. I'm going to manage my people. I'm going to sequence my people, all that stuff. And chances are you could probably give them a better price because of a package deal. And I could teach you how to do that. And what happens is, think about this. If your average contract value is $200,000, which is what typically the average is $150,000 to $300,000. So I always say 200 grand. Your average contract value is $200,000. With one client, all you need is like 5 jobs to hit $1 million, right? So let me ask you a question. How many clients do you need right now to hit $1 million? If you're doing small jobs, it's a lot more. That's why we emphasize doing medium size. Believe it or not, $200,000 is a medium sized job because you can scale up and have a lot of those. And then now you have client number 1 giving you, 1 project every other month. Think about that. 1 project every other month, right? Every 2 months you get a job. Boom. Then you do it again. Boom. And then you do it again. Boom. And over the next couple of years, every time you add on a new client, that's $1 million. Not, oh, it's just one little, no, it's $1 million, $1 million freaking dollars added to my top of line revenue. So this is what I tell everybody. Year number 1, you should focus on getting 2 repeat clients. That's it. Just focus. If you put that in your mind that all I want is 2 repeat clients, that you don't think about anything else, you just focus on the KPI that matters. KPI, key performance indicator, that's what matters. What can I do to nurture and to build my relationship with this client so that they want to use us over and over and over? And if you're thinking about 25 different clients, it's not going to work. So if you get 100, and then from that 100, you pick a handful, and then from there you pick like 10, and then you pick like 5, and then now eventually you have 2 or 3 at the end. Now all of your focus and attention and your operations and your team is focused on, boom, a few people only. Right? And guess what happens? You have this massive pool. If you use our lead system that I teach in my Construction Sales Academy, if you use that process, and not just there, but on all my YouTube videos, I talk about this. You have this process. Now you have unlimited leads coming in. Boom, boom, boom. And all you're doing is like this 100, we're going to pick, boom, boom. And like, it's never going to end. You're never going to run out of people to talk to do this process. You might just pick 10 for now. Let's focus on these 10 and boom, and move those forward. And guess what? When you're ready, now you go and grab the next few, boom, and you'll see that in no time, you're going to have a multi-million-dollar business. If you notice, in order to do any of this, you need a sales system, and not just any sales system. You need a commercial construction sales system that is designed to teach you how to get leads, how to estimate, how to follow up, how to negotiate, how to do the prospect scaling process in detail. The 8-figure contractor system is extremely powerful, and that's what I teach inside of my Construction Sales Academy. I'm going to put a link right over here and also in the description. Right now, it's actually free to join. So I highly encourage you, check us out, join our community. We have our training program where we literally walk you step by step, by the hand, how to scale up your construction business. And this is perfect for new people. And this is perfect for those of you that are trying to grow your commercial business or get into commercial. All right. So now that you're a prospect scaling expert, and now what do we do next? How do we follow up? What is the script? What do we say? What is the process to win the first job? Go ahead and watch this video where I'm giving you the exact checklist of everything you need to do. Literally just follow the pattern, follow the footsteps. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just do what I tell you. Go watch that video.